All right. We have in the past couple of years we have seen a rise in the number of shortlet properties, shortlet apartments, shortlet listings, particularly on the island, the Lekki, Ikoyi, Victoria Island axis. And in this episode, we'll be looking at the trajectory and the trend, and we'll be asking ourselves the rise in shortlet apartments, the rise in shortlet investments. Will this result in a housing doom in Lagos? All right, in case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this meet the Public Property Channel, and this will discuss everything real estate. Trust me, you don't have to agree or disagree with my point yet. You can let me state my case first. Then you can come into the comment section and then let's hear your own perspective too. So, our topics here, our content here are very, very interactive, and we try as much as possible to also carry our audience along, get your opinion, get your view about a couple of these things, because a lot of you guys are investors, a lot of you guys are active in certain parts of the market. All right, so if you are on the market looking for where to understand real estate, where to understand real estate documents, real estate terminologies, real estate opportunities here in Lagos and in Nigeria entirely, here, the Property Guy, this is your go-to channel. And this is where we discuss everything, we dissect everything, we talk about everything really you need to know, from real estate companies, real estate returns, real estate models, real estate opportunities, real estate risk, real estate documents, everything we talk about it here. So after watching this particular episode, I will also suggest you go to our different playlists on Shortlet, interview session, trivia session. We have real estate investor series, pros and cons. We have land banking, we have CFO, we have a shortlet on Ekpe, we have a shortlet on Lekki. So we have so many interesting episodes, so many topics that we have done under this playlist that you are definitely going to learn a lot from. So, and I can guarantee you that you are going to be hooked on our video and on our channel for hours. Really, that's the amount of work, the amount of research you are put into most of this content that we do here. All right, so let's go straight into the topic now. Is the rise in shortlet apartments in Lagos a housing doom? All right, Lagos, as the commercial capital of Nigeria, which is undisputable, is already battling overpopulation. The accurate figure of the current population of Lagos is roughly between 15 to 20 million currently, and for a city that is very small and having that number of people in that same city, competing for space, competing for residential space, commercial space, is already has already stretched Lagos thin already. Now, for the overpopulation in Lagos have already resulted in a housing crisis and a mass housing deficit. Sometime 4 years ago, the housing deficit in Nigeria was like around 17-18 million. If we add the rise in population in the past 4 years to it, currently the housing deficit in Nigeria should be hitting like around 25 million. And if the housing deficit in Nigeria should be hitting 25 million, Lagos should be taking like around 8 to 10 million of that as a housing deficit. So for a city that is having a housing deficit of 8 million, and you are now having a rise in the number of investors who don't want to stay in what they are buying, the apartment they are buying, they don't intend to stay there, and they don't intend to also rent out the apartment, but they are specifically buying that apartment and buying those houses for short stays, for per night booking, and for people that can come and pay them 100k per night and pay for 36 days or 35 days or for 60 days. Now, it won't really be a major concern if it's just like this one here, that one there, just few. But in the past 12, 18, 24 months, we've seen a whole 24 units of apartments, a whole 12 units of apartments, a whole 30 units of apartments being built, delivered, sold, and all the investors that bought these apartments, all they want to do is shortlet. Nobody want to stay there. Nobody want to rent it out. And this number is rising, particularly in places like Lekki Phase 1, Victoria Island, Ikoyi, and it's trickling gradually into places like Ikate, Yaba, Surulere. Ikeja is like almost prominent. Almost all the apartment in Ikeja GRA right now is shortlet. Even down to Maryland and some places that are already boarding Ikeja. And some places like Ogba, Ojodu right now also, for apartment there that are also tilting towards shortlets. So now, what will end this? Because it's simple. What is currently happening? Less apartments will be available for people to stay. It's certain. So despite the fact that developers are building houses, developers are putting apartments for sale, these apartments will still not really affect our housing deficit, because these apartments are not really available for the people that want to rent, and it's not available for people that want to buy to stay. And because of the rise in the number of investors that want to buy this apartment for shortlets, these have also driven the real estate prices in some of these locations. As of today, a two-bed apartment in Lekki Phase 1 right now is 120. Some are even already doing 150 million for a two-bed apartment. How many people in Lagos will want to buy a two-bed apartment at 150 million just to stay? A two-bed apartment in Ikate right now, 90 million, 100 million, 85 million for a two-bed apartment. The same thing for a three-bed apartment. Three-bed apartment in Lekki Phase 1 right now is doing 180, 200 million. And Ikate three-bed apartment is already doing 110, 120. And this same thing is also happening on the mainland in places like Surulere, in places like Yaba, where the modern apartment three-bed is like 70 to 90 million. And a whole chunk of these apartments, the people that are buying it are not staying there and are not renting it out. So which means that there are houses, few houses coming into the housing market, which is not even really having any impact in the housing deficit already, because we have a 8 million housing deficit, and probably we have to be building like 1 million to 500k houses per year. We have not hit that figure yet. But even the few 50,000, 100,000 houses that you are building, a chunk of those houses are not even available for people that want to stay. Either they want to buy it to stay there, or they want to let it out to stay there, because the people that own these apartments, the only thing that they are interested in, they want to use it for shortlet. So this is driving apartments to be more expensive for people that want to buy to stay, and it's also driving apartments to be more expensive for people that even want to rent the apartment to stay. Because if you want to rent an apartment to stay right now in Lekki Phase 1, it's more expensive, because 70% of the people that owns or that have this apartment, they are not even renting it out. So the few people that want to rent it out, they are charging much higher for it. But they will tell you that if I want to use this apartment for shortlet, I know how much I'll be charging per night. See this person beside me, see this person opposite me, they are all using it for shortlet, and they are collecting so amount per night. So me, I'm telling you to pay 6 million or to pay 5 million and a half per year. I'm still doing you a favor. You get? And the same thing is happening also in Surulere, it's happening in Yaba, where landlords and property owners realize that almost all the apartments in their street are for shortlets, and they know how much these apartments are charging for shortlets. So although they don't want to do shortlets, but the fact that they are still renting it out pretty expensive, because they will tell you that if I want to use it for shortlet, I'll be making times 2 or times whatever I'm collecting for rent. So if you are willing to pay the rent, pay. If you are not willing to pay the rent, leave it there. My apartment is there, leave it. I'll get someone to rent it out. So it's making houses more expensive to buy for people that want to stay, and also houses more expensive to let for people that want to stay. So that's the fact. That's what is happening right now. And looking at the trend and looking at the trajectory, it's not coming down, it's increasing. And I won't really blame investors totally for this because investors are investors. Investors are after opportunities. Investors are after a return on investment, and investors are after market gaps. If there is a market gap and investors feel like I have the money to invest in this market gap to fill it, there's a market that needs this market gap, investors are going to go there and do it. That's it. But if there is no regulation and there is no restriction to curb this, then we are going to get into trouble, particularly in Lagos and particularly in certain places in Lagos. And that's why there have been a couple of estates now that are placing restriction on shortlets. Even Magodo Shangisha, Magodo Phase 2, they even put a banner there publicly on their entrance gates that shortlets is prohibited in the estate because it's a residential estate. Like, in case you don't know, if you are using an apartment for shortlet, is no longer residential. Is no longer residential. That apartment, that 2-bed, that 3-bed is now commercial because people are paying you to come and sleep there, and different people are coming there to sleep. So it kind of poses a security issue and a security concern for the other people that are staying in that apartment or in that block or in that estate, and they have their family there, and they don't know the kind of people that are coming in because you are using your own apartment for shortlets. All right. So if this is not regulated, if there is no form of if this growth still continues with the number of shortlet apartments investors are buying, with the number of shortlet apartments that developers are building, then there will be less apartment for people to buy to stay. There will be less apartment for people to let to stay, and the few ones that will be available will be pretty expensive, and which will forcefully take people out of the certain areas for if they are considering to stay at all. If you have 50 million naira and you're looking for a house to stay, you can't. Lekki Phase 1 is out. Ikate is out. Probably Osapa is even out. Right now, you are probably going to Aja or going to Songotedo. And if you're looking for a place to stay and you're on like maybe a 2 million naira, 3 million naira budget and you have a family, you are probably going to Ebamadesonya or Songotedo, because most of the apartments that are much higher up, they cost above 2 million naira or 3 million naira for rent. So it's already happening, and the trend is there for investors to look at, and the numbers is also there for investors to also look at, because people are already looking at the shortlet market on the island. They are looking at the current prices, and they look at the demand. That okay, this market is in demand. The island is already charging this figure. Why don't we offer people alternatives and charge a lesser figure? So people are also providing shortlet on the mainland now, and they are providing it at almost like 50% of the costs that the island is charging, just to get the market to come to their side too. So it's really not an island thing again, because the shortlet market in the mainland is also growing, and some certain part of Lagos that is even like maybe the border areas and whatever are also offering shortlet too. So this is going to almost like trickle down to almost every location at some point. But we just have to look at the effect, the cause and effect of this. Yeah, people are making money. I am making money because I manage portfolio for my clients, and a couple of my clients have shortlet investments, and we are paying them every month, so we are remitting to them. So I'm making money too. So, but we also have to look at the cause and effects and the consequences of people making this money. If this continue, if this number continue, this profit continue, this trend continues, how is it going to affect the overall housing market? Because our housing deficit is real. Our housing deficit is growing because our population keeps growing, and probably in the next 10 or 15 years, likely our population is going to double. So if our population gets to double and we are not even halving our housing deficit yet, and the few houses that are available, they are not available for people to stay, they are not available for people to rent, then there's a big problem that is coming. All right, so these are my perspective and my opinion, and I've backed it with a couple of figures and a couple of data, because this is what we do. These are markets. You don't have to agree with my opinion, actually. It's fine if you disagree with it. And that's why we have our comment section open, because we want you to disagree, and we want you to tell us your perspective and your own point of view, what you feel is happening, how you feel is going to turn out. If you are expecting a different result to what we are expecting, can also let us know your opinion, and let's know your perspective. and you can engage. I can talk and discuss about it. So our comment section is open for that. And if you are not subscribed yet to our videos, this is your first time on our channel, this is your second time, fifth time, 10th time on our channel, and you have not subscribed yet, regardless of the medium that you are watching us, the location that you are watching us, either it's on your Apple TV, it's on your smart TV, it's on your iPad, your iPhone, your laptop, kindly do subscribe. We want you to subscribe. It's very important to us for you to subscribe. And if you enjoy our content, also, we want you to engage on this content. Give us a thumb like. Give us a thumb like. You are free. You are free. You are free to share this content. You can share it on Facebook. You can share it on YouTube. You can share it on your WhatsApp stories, your WhatsApp status, your Snapchat, your TikTok, your Instagram, anywhere you like. You can share it. You can share my content. It's fine. Actually, we wanted to share it, basically. So if you are subscribed yet, if you are subscribed already to our channel too, we also want you to turn on the notification button. There's a bell button right beside the subscribe button. We want you to turn on that bell button. It's quite important to turn on that bell button so that when we drop these videos, when we drop this content, you get notified and you are up to tap to our recent guide, to our recent POV point of view, to our recent updates regarding what is happening here, what is happening in the market, what is trending in the market, and you can always be way ahead of every other person, because that's what we ensure in this channel. You are way ahead of every other person on what is happening in the real estate sector, in the real estate industry, and you can tap from the different opportunities that we also big out on this channel. All right, so I see you, your number one property on the planet, your property advisor, property consultant. Yeah, my name is Rabiu Mustafa. Thanks for being on this our channel. Thanks for dedicating your time, dedicating your attention to watch and listen to us. We so much appreciate it, and see you next time.